What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Music in the Minor League. This week we're joined by Celeste Marie Wilson. We met Celeste about a year ago playing a Sofar Sounds show out at Endeavor Gym. So when you listen to the interview, I couldn't remember, but that was the place, Endeavor Gym. Celeste was a powerhouse vocalist. We were just blown away by her. And then you listen to the songs and they're solid too. So you get you're like, man, how's this young person that good? So we were happy to be able to sit down and talk to her and figure out how in the world she got so good so fast. She has a bunch of singles out currently and is working on getting her first full-length album out into the world. We discussed that, what leads her to writing music, how she's been working with other people, all sorts of cool stuff. It was really great to sit down and talk to her. And also her relationship she has with her mother, as her mother's her manager. Point being that she has a great relationship, great support system, and is making some solid music. So before we get to the podcast, if you want to see Celeste around town, she's got some shows coming up. Her first show here will be June 28th. She's doing a house show with her new band Wildflower Road. Then she has a solo set she's doing at Dan Electro's on June 29th. That's at 6 p.m. That's going to be a good one, man. Dan Electro's is a great spot. Then she's got her band Wildflower Road will be playing out at the House of Blues on July 10th. So don't miss out on that one. There's a lot of cool stuff happening, and we're going to talk about a lot during the interview. Before we get to the interview, let's get the housekeeping out of the way. First off, if you like the episode, make sure you share it with your friends. Help us get the word out. We're doing this all for free, man. We're just trying to get the word out, support our scene, and help folks who are making music that we enjoy and that we think you'll enjoy too. So please help us out by sharing the podcast. Get some folks listening, help us expose more people to this music. 2, if you're a band or musician and you want to be on the podcast, just hit us up. The only prerequisite is that you have something recorded that we can include in the podcast. That's really it, man. Just hit us up. Number 3, if you want to catch Brightwire in the near future, we do have some shows coming up. This Saturday, we'll be playing out at Rehab Bar on the Bayou with Kerosene Stars. This Friday will be May 31st. Then starting on next week on June 7th, we'll be out at Fredonia Brewing in Nacogdoches, Texas, playing from 6 to 9 p.m. Then on the 14th, we'll be at Union Tavern with Shame on Me. That's going to be a great show. Doors at 8. It's an early one. We know if you're familiar with Union Tavern, you know they normally run super late. Trying to fix that, man. Come out early. Come out at 8 o'clock. Support the show. Probably bands will start about 8:30 and be over by 10:30, 11. Everyone's going to play about an hour set. There's going to be us and Shame on Me. We're playing full band on that one too. Don't miss it. And I think that does it for us, man. So let's cut past all this. Let's get to the episode. Get to the conversation. We did do this over Zoom, so it's a little sketch at times due to the internet connections and whatnot, but overall, it's a great listen, great story, and we're going to kick it off with Celeste's newest single called If I Send For You. Give that a listen, and we'll see you on the other side.
He smelled like the crisp air and apples from a tree. He'd pray beside me on his knees by my feet. Though he a serpent and I may be Eve, to live is to sin, babe, if you wish to be free. Oh, I'm begging you, you've been too good to me. I am all you want, you're all I need, baby. I fight for you, tangled in your sheets. If I sin for you, will you pray for me? If I sin for you. He was bottled moonlight, raven hair, eyes at night, kept me up to the sunrise, held me tight, lips on night, hands on thighs. I was his conviction, like a moth to the flame, destroyed my reputation, lost my shame, take the blame.
All right, y'all, welcome to another episode of Music in the Minor League. Today we are here with Celeste Marie Wilson, who we were fortunate enough to meet right about a year ago. I think technically 13 months ago. We did a Sofar Sounds show with her at a gym whose name I cannot remember. Not a person named Jim, but an actual building where people work out and do things.
And it was fun.
So thank you for joining us. I know it was Celeste and her friend was playing guitar with her, and it was a killer show that me and Health remembered way better than Kim did.
Yeah,
100% better.
I'm old. Sorry.
The radiation and stuff, yeah.
Don't be sorry, be better.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
Well, thank you for joining us at our friendly abode here. Celeste. How are you this evening?
Well, I'm tired. I woke up at 3:30 a.m. to go to my cough shop job. But I had a writer's room I was in last night till about 10:30. So
Oh,
I'm
wow.
seeing what my body can do.
Man, 3:30. No, thank you.
Right, no joke. I mean, I see 3:30 when I'm awake. I don't know about waking up at.
Intentionally.
Fair enough. Yeah, I press snooze quite a bit. You have to have like multiple alarms. It's a game I play with my phone.
Oh, yeah, me too. In case I don't get up at the time I'm supposed to, I'm going to give myself another 10 minutes.
Right, and sharing a bedroom with a person that does that when you're on a different schedule is the best.
It is, I know. I apologize.
I'm only sharing a bedroom with my dog, so he doesn't complain too much.
There you go.
Third alarm means I'm going to get fed. This is great. It's like they learn quick, like it's fine. When she gets up for work, here it goes. All right, well, I'm looking through some things. Like we see that you had, before we get to what got you into music, first off, congrats. I see that you were a championship winner for the Texas State Songwriter Association. That was exciting. Like, tell us a little bit about that if you can.
It was. I signed up just like I did. Most of the things I do are last minute and on a whim, you know? I'm like a 21-year-old who's a hot mess. And I was like, Mom, look at this. I need to sign up. Can we go to Dallas next weekend? No, Fort Worth next weekend? And I was like, okay, if you get in. And then I got in and I was like, oh, I think we need a second night because I got past the semifinals, which I didn't expect. And then I performed at the finals and I was standing there and they were calling everybody's name. And I was like, we were at the last three and I was like, I didn't win anything, you know, like, you know, that head down, like, it's okay. Like, everybody here is good. I respect it. And then they called my name and I was like, on purpose, y'all? I got to share a stage with a lot of really, really good people.
That's awesome. Especially when you do stuff like that on a whim, just like, I'm going to go for it. And then, you know, swing and hit it.
Out of the park, it sounds like.
So before you were like one of the top songwriter folks in Texas, how'd you get started in this? What made you really decide to get into music?
I have been a writer forever. I've always written. Like, I can't remember a time where I have not written every day. And I was published as a poet at 18 years old with the National Poetry Foundation. And I love poems. I still love them. Still want to be a poet. But there's something about putting music with the poetry and then performing it that is so cool. Like, you see so many folk artists do it. Like, I think every folk artist is a poet. But like taking that and adding a rock edge, something about it was so appealing because it's like I got 200 words to tell a whole story and really touch someone's soul. And it was just an expansion upon that dream I kind of already had.
Sounds
Yeah,
like
that
you like a challenge.
Yeah.
That also gets the hardest part out of the way. The hardest part's always like coming up with lyrics that connect. And it's like, all right, I'm already writing the lyrics. So the guitar part had to come easy. Just like, okay, I got this.
Oh, the guitar and I hate each other.
You also play
Look at
keys,
this
though,
bell.
right? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I played piano first. I started playing piano in second grade. So that's great, second grade.
Oh, so you're like one of those real music people that can play piano. Okay.
You didn't look at like how comfortable she looked on the piano in her video? I was like, oh, she's been playing a while.
My mom and dad were both piano teachers when they were younger.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Kind of in your blood. Yeah.
Guitar's not. Stringed instruments?
Yeah, stringed instruments can be like, I guess, I don't know. Yeah, to me, they make more sense.
They make sense to you because that's how you started.
I know.
Yeah. Remember how I told you like it's different when you start on the piano?
You're actually like really talented and can do more than 3 chords.
No, like you're really talented and just in a different way. You can play anything with strings.
Oh.
Hey, you kind of already know how to play piano because if you look at the inside of a piano, it is a stringed instrument.
True.
It's all lit.
I have a grand at home, and if you pop it up and look inside, it's all strings.
True.
It's just learning the shapes, just like guitar.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Never thought about it like that. That does make a little more sense. Huh.
We learned something today.
Dang it. I wasn't even trying to learn today. God.
I can sit there and go, bang, that's a chord.
I could play chopsticks.
What What is that?
Chopsticks, you know, ding, 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 ding. That one. I just sang that.
I know that was great with without the harmony that went with it. It was perfect.
Yeah, I'll work on that.
No, you can't.
We got the point. Yeah. All right. So you started writing poems, and then what I guess led you to start recording and, really putting the songs together and getting after it?
This is gonna make me sound absolutely crazy, but the same thing that got me into the Texas songwriting thing, the same reason I'm here. I was like laying in my bed. I was going through a really hard time in my life, funerals, breakups, like everything was just on fire. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna call a producer. It's 3 a.m. I was like, I'm gonna call a producer right now. And I get on my computer and I start reading up for best producer in Houston, Texas area, best producers, and I start calling them 3 a.m. And then one of them picked up, and I was like, I have a song idea. Do you want to hear it right now? Yeah. And a week later, I was recording. Everything with me is very I don't know what's up with my brain. Maybe it's the homeschooled coming out.
There it is.
But that sounds fun to do. I'm going to do it right now.
That sounds like Sam, actually.
Yeah.
It's like a certain time at night when the circus starts, and you're like, all right, I've got all these ideas now, like the kinetic.
I'm like, what am I waiting for? An invitation?
That's awesome.
Yeah, no one ever gives you an invitation. You just got to put yourself out there.
True.
If you get an invitation, you're lucky.
Right, exactly.
They're trying to scam you. You got to be careful with that.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Very true.
It'll be like, you're invited to this 2-week cruise. Give us your credit card info. It's free. That's a scam, y'all.
How about no?
How
How about I have common sense?
It's like the timeshare thing.
Wait, so like the Kenyan prince who sent me an email is not real?
Not real.
Oh, well, that's
No.
could have known that a few weeks ago before I sent that check. Dang it.
So you obviously like the challenge of writing a whole story in 200 words. I think that's what you said, which I love how you describe that so succinctly. Because I think a lot of songwriters think of it as telling stories.
Right.
And if you can do it in that amount of words, that's amazing. So you always wrote more long form when you were younger, and then just kind of...
I did short stories for a long time. I started getting into novel kind of things in middle school. And then in high school, I really was focusing on the poetry.
Poetry, yeah.
Is what was so appealing to me, because in my opinion, and some people disagree with me, I think it's easier to write long form content than short form content. I've written books in 2 weeks, long form 100,000 word books. And for me, time wise, it was more consuming. But in terms of having to think while you're writing, it didn't matter as much, because not every single word had to count. You could have a couple words that got to where you needed to go, transitional phrases, things like that. You don't have that in a song. You don't have any transitional words. Every word has to count, or people will stop listening.
True.
Yeah.
And so that was and same for the poems, because you have a little bit more leeway with how you're formatting your sentences. Every word had to count, and that was I don't know, something about that is very beautiful to me, to make every word count.
I agree. I think poetry is so much more challenging than long form writing. I did the same thing you did. I started writing poetry in high school, and it was always musical in my head, when I was writing. But when I realized, I could make that a song, it was a whole new world opened up, even though it had been there the whole time.
Right.
I just didn't realize it, Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like you figured it out at a much younger age than I did. That's cool.
Well, songwriters are important in every age. A lot of the best writing groups and stuff, people who write together and go into writers' rooms, are older people writing with younger people and people of different backgrounds, because it gets a story that speaks to more people.
Yeah. So writers' rooms, you sounded like you've got some experience with that. I know you said you did one.
I had one last night. I wrote with Barry Coughing. He's charted a couple times, what was it? I think he had a #1 hit when he was younger. And then I've also written with Ryan Reynolds, but not the Ryan Reynolds, a songwriter named Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, got ya. Okay.
And he helped me we wrote a song together. He came over, fed him, made sure he was full. school, and then we sat down and wrote. And he's written with a lot of big people as well. Lived in Nashville for a while, and then I wrote with the Buddy Holly Foundation 2 times in Louisiana. A bunch of other groups. I can't remember some of the names, but I write a lot. You know, I'm always open to writing with anybody. Anybody wants to write, come to my house.
Good to know.
She'll make you dinner.
I'll make you dinner. I try to make it well. We had steak last night.
Dang, dude.
Steak, potatoes, and a little bit of cheap red wine.
Okay.
We were ready to write.
Right, get the wheels turning. I guess that's cool because, like, for us, that was a major reason I was really looking forward to talking to you, was to get, like, most of the people we end up talking to on this, for the majority, are like mid-30s up. So it's really cool to get to talk to someone who, A, is kind of already doing so much by 21. So that means we met, you were still 20. So, you know, it's like making all this stuff happen. And it's neat to see, like, you know, it's a good social aspect of getting people together to create songs and doing stuff like that.
Well, you have to work, make it a party.
Right. Get in there and do it. And I had all these ideas, like all these questions, and it's like when you have your set list at a show and you're like, or you don't have a set list, you're like,
I never have a set list.
outside of those first 2 songs, every other song I ever wrote does not exist anymore. Like,
Yep.
we have other songs, right?
Nope.
I can't remember any of them right now.
We've seen you've been pretty prolific. Like, you have a bunch of singles out. Are you working on any sort of like collection of songs, or you just, I said that maybe like a different generational thing? Are you sticking mostly singles?
I have a 13-song album completely recorded.
Nice.
I'm just working on the promotional content of it. I have a music video shoot, my second music video shoot later this upcoming month. I got we have all the casting done for it. I have so many things going on. My calendar's fucking booked.
I was going to say, do you ever sleep?
Sometimes when my mom drives me around.
This is sounding more and more familiar.
Yeah. I'm like, if you can't find a rich man, you have to become one. So I'm working on it.
And also doing something you love at the same time. That's kind of the positive spirit.
I know. And my mom's my manager, and we're like best friends. Like, we go get our nails done while we're working on business things, you know? And that's a lot of fun because getting to spend time with her is really nice, and travel and whatnot. I feel like it's I'm going to have a lot cooler memories as a musician who's on the road a lot than someone who like has a manager who they just kind of like met online, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool to have that. It's a big thing. We were talking to, you know, people last week about parents who supported them in their art, which a lot of parents don't really support their kids in art. You know, normally like, what are you doing? You know, you should go get a business degree and go do this. It's like,
Be an engineer.
right.
No, my mom's told me ever since I was very young, you know, by the time I was in middle school, she was like, I think you're going to be a writer. And I told her, no, I'm going to go into code. And I went to some coding camp at Rice or something. And I was like, I hate code. Like, I was good at it. I just hated it. And I was trying to the entire time make coding into some story thing. Like, I was actually in there trying to figure out how to make it into a story thing. It was driving my poor teacher insane, you know? And my mom was like, if you like telling stories so much, maybe that's just what you need to do, you know? You can have a very long career as a storyteller, especially if you don't pigeonhole yourself into any one place. I plan to write anything and everything I can. If someone hires me and says, write something, you bet I'll be writing it.
It's good to have that creativity too, of like creating narratives and stories. Because like years ago, I worked at a law school, and that was one of the major classes was the art of storytelling. It's like when you get up in front of anybody, the way that we've always connected as human beings was like you came and you told the story. I mean, you know, you're hanging out at a bar with friends. It's not just like, do you know these facts? The best memories of the night is like, dude, there I was. And you just kind of go into this whole elaborate tale, and everyone's like, oh, that was great.
It is true, though. That's how we connect with other human beings. It's pretty cool.
Sometimes we connect over stories that aren't even ours, you know, like the band love. Like, I love Taylor Swift, and the Swifties all connect over Taylor Swift, and, you know, any breakup she's had and struggles she's had and the wins she's had, all those stories.
Yeah, it's something that you kind of experience together too. It's, you know, a lot of like, I guess, you know, I'm trying to think like public figures and things of that nature that you kind of go through their life. It impacts you on a personal level.
Well, and as a woman, it's always really empowering to see other women do what you want to do.
Facts.
It is. There's hardly any women out here, like, especially, I came from children's literature. That was where I started. I had a publishing deal, and then there was a strike, and anyway, it fell through. And then, but there were so many women in that field. So switching over to songwriting, there are not a lot of girls out here. You know, when I see another woman musician, I'm like, oh my gosh, hello, where have you been? You know, it's like, I love guys, but every now and then it's like, why am I the only girl here?
That's pretty much in any thing you do.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, unless you go into teaching or social work.
Yeah.
Those traditional type of careers where women dominate nursing.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise, I've always been outnumbered in offices that I've worked in.
I know the feeling in my field.
Yeah, true. Well, you're a teacher. Yeah.
Right.
Teaching. But those are traditionally seen as a woman's job.
Exactly.
So.
Well, yeah, you're expected to care for and
Right.
do things. So it's good now that like the younger generation's like, I'm going to go
Rejecting.
out and be a
Yeah.
creative as well. I feel like you have more avenues. So you're, voices that were stifled before, important voices are suddenly have this avenue to go out and be like, no, like my story, my actual story and the stories I create are just as valid as anyone else's.
Right.
Yeah.
Dang, are we talking about like women's empowerment all of a sudden? We took a shift. I like it.
Well, I mean, that's just kind of how I feel about it. I mean, I'm like you. When I see another woman, I'm like, I have someone to talk to now. It's not that I don't love hanging out with you guys. It's just,
Because we're pretty awesome. I'm
yeah,
saying.
you guys are pretty awesome.
Thank you.
And all my friends are mostly guys. So, but in songwriting, it's different being a woman, I think.
Yeah, you just have different things you're going to write about and different stories you're going to tell that you might not necessarily tell with your male counterparts.
Yeah, like your friends you had so far. Like, I thought it was cool then that you had like a fellow like female guitar player with you
Oh, yeah.
instead of just like, oh, here's like my buddy from here. It was like, no, like, man, I know you knew her, but it was just like, cool, I'm gonna make sure I find like a fellow woman to come out and do this show with me.
She's the best. I love Emma.
All right, good. I couldn't remember her name, so do shout out to Emma for being awesome.
You're awesome, Emma.
That was a subtle way to get her to say the name too, Sam. That was really good. I was impressed.
He's a good interviewer.
He is really good.
Wow, I'm starting to feel like I'm being punked here. Like everyone's
are
being
not.
so nice.
Well, it
It's
was your
like,
birthday
Oh, it was
yesterday.
my birthday yesterday, so everyone's just like being nice for once. So I'm gonna take it. Everyone listens. Like, does he have a gun? Does he like what do we not see?
Is he
You're the
forcing
best.
these
We
people?
love you. We love you so much. Like, no, you don't.
Sam is love.
my God.
Sam is light.
I just hear a lot of parallels in how Celeste says that she operates and how I see you operate.
And that you put that manic energy to work. Like that's the thing. It's
Yeah.
It's
That's
good.
why I asked her if she ever slept, because I could just see it on her face.
Well, you go to work at the coffee shop, you get done, you're tired enough that all the noise drops down enough that you can focus and you can do all these things like write songs and do all that. Is that your process as well?
My process is I was doing my music thing full time, and I was like, you know what? I want to compete at kind of this higher level. And to do it, I was told I really needed a music video. Well, music videos are expensive
Yes.
to look good, you know? And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get a job. So I just did what I normally did. I just looked up jobs near me. And I was like, I'll apply to whatever was there. I was like, you know what? And then I just started pressing apply. And then like within a week I had a job. I was like, okay. And I was there.
Dude, the way she lives her life is pretty impressive,
She
man.
just plows through whatever obstacle there is.
Like, yeah, it's like obstacles be damned.
Gosh.
I'm going to sit there for a week and go, I don't know what to do. What should I do? Maybe I should think about getting a job. That's how that would work for me. It would take
So
6
that's like,
months.
I want to eat. I need to go. So I'm going to get a job now. Like, she's like, you're going to hire me and I'm going to work for you and you're going to pay me.
Yeah,
so
I
it's
want to
cool.
do this, so I'm going to do this.
That's awesome.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. But yeah.
Normally there's like 500 other things in the queue. So it's like, if I'm not going to do this now, then it's not going to get done. Like I have to do this now or else the 500
That's how
other
I am.
things. Yeah.
Otherwise, I just won't get it done. You know, it's like instead of, I don't make lists of things to do either. You know,
Really?
I let them come to me. I be like, I need to do this, and being very organized. I just like sit there and I'm like, I need to do these 10 things. I'm going to do them right now. And then I write down what I did after so I don't forget what I did. And then I don't know, it works.
Wow. I would not remember the 10 things 5 minutes after I said I need to do these 10 things.
Ginkgo
So I have
biloba.
to make a list.
Ginkgo biloba. That's what
I
I'll
was like, you know, you just like I saw your guys' podcast and I was like, you know what, I'm going to do that. And then I wrote on my phone that I'd done it. So I knew the the day I did it. And I was like, maybe I should apply to like 10 more. And then I did.
Yeah.
And then I wrote those down. So I didn't forget it. And then I was like, I have, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I was like, and now I have to post social media content. And then I did. But nothing scheduled.
Yeah. So you're not making lists, you're journaling your activities, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you can go back because I wouldn't remember either.
And then I see it in my notes app, which is very full and disorganized. And I go, yeah, I did that. And then that's it.
Just in case you ever need to go back. Yeah.
So
I drive my mom. She momagers everything. She's so organized. She's one with the calendar. She's like, you have to put it on this day and do this on this day. And I'm like, look at this journal of things I did today, Mom.
I'm exhausted.
I've been so busy.
Like, you didn't have to do any of that.
That sounds like a conversation between Sam and I, actually.
Right, but I had to do something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was I supposed to do? Just go to
Things
sleep?
came to me, and so I did them. Right. Should I rest?
My brainworm said do that, so I did it.
I always tell Sam that I think his ADHD is his superpower because I don't function that way. And I am a very organized and like detailed person, but I'm also a perfectionist. So it takes me forever to finish something. So yeah, I'm learning that I don't have to do that. I can do it and move on and not come back to it and critique it and try to do it over and over again.
Right.
But that's also hard when you're a songwriter and you need to go back and do it over and over and over again. So I got to remember where to do that.
To practice for gigs.
Oh, you
The
forget?
thing that I tell myself is just like, it's not for me. I don't know. Like my art, like making it is for me, but once it's made, it's not mine.
Yeah.
You know, it's no longer mine. It's no longer about me. My feelings don't enter into what happens with it. You know, it was kind of a hard thing for my first couple songs. I had like these big breakdowns because I was like, people are judging me. You know, like when you're 19 and you're doing something like that, other 19-year-olds are going to be not so nice.
Oh, yeah.
So I just had like a huge breakdown. Then I was like, no, because it's not about me anymore. It's just out there in the universe. And now it is everybody else's and not really mine. And that helped me with the perfectionism because then I felt like I couldn't touch it anymore. You know, I was like, it's not mine to touch.
True. Like once you record it, it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then once it's released, it's like you gotta give yourself deadlines too. Like this needs to be done by this time.
Yeah, you
Or
have
else
definitely
you
taught
can-
me that.
You can, let me twiddle with this knob a little more with no audible difference. Everyone around you's like, I hear nothing.
And you can do that for 9 months and still sounds the same.
They just put it out in the world, and what was the thing? Like it's like a Mike Patton interview said that it's like a child. It's like it goes out into the world and it does its thing. And whatever, I never, except I never revisit it. I don't listen to it again. It's just like on to the next project. Like there it is. It's out there.
It's kind of like a child, but you don't you don't check on it, I guess.
It's like the olden days when you just sent your child out on the boat. It was like, bye.
Go to the factory, my child. Make money for the family.
Right. Somewhere when you're older, you'll be like, wonder what that kid's up to. You may check it out.
I hope he's happy.
It's an infant, and you're like, bye now. Hope you do well out there. You're a day old. It's time to pay rent.
Right.
Quit being an albatross around my neck. Hold me down,
That's
kid.
why I made you so you could.
Luckily,
you could pay
songs
the rent.
mature far faster than human beings do.
Truth.
Thank God.
They're like insects. They're adults like within days.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a better example, I think.
Unless you got that one song. Everybody has that one song that just will never be finished and is like in purgatory. And I've got one of those. I'm like, girl, most of my songs I write in 30 minutes. So it shocked me when I got a song that just got stuck in like purgatory that I've been working on for months. I'm like,
I'm about to give up
why
on
is
this.
it? Yeah. That's when you just throw it in the notes app for later. And I'll find that one day.
Yeah, one day it'll inspire me again.
Exactly.
One day I'll do something with that.
Yeah.
Right now I hate it forever.
You have a song sometimes where it's like the music doesn't work out. It's like, well, if I forget about it for 6 months, I won't remember how it goes. And when I find these lyrics that I like, I'll be like, oh, they can go with this. And then it's a totally different song. Like, yes, so much better.
Yeah.
I call that a Franken song, where you take like 3 songs that didn't work and then you mush them together and then somehow it does work and it was really good. I love a Franken song.
We've done that.
Yep.
Actually, that one song where you did like, was that Toughest Nails? Where it was like you had the three, that early songwriting thing was like every chorus will have different words.
Yeah, when I was just
And then
writing
it's like,
in the beginning.
like that's not really the point of the chorus, but okay. And then she wrote 3 killer verses as the choruses, and the verses were just kind of like,
Not great.
yeah, they deserve to be cut out. So I was
Yeah.
like, cool, man. Well, you have 3 good verses. Let's come up with a chorus.
And it worked out.
Yeah, so those are the best when you can kind of be like, okay, I don't know what was going on in my head, but these themes all match, and we can put them together and make something good.
Yep.
Sometimes I think it's our brains working like somehow our brain knows what the finished product is, but we don't. You know, when we're writing like song after song that's the same topic, same theme, your brain already knows. It's just like you haven't put it together.
That's true.
You haven't relaxed enough to let it happen. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, no, I'm going to push, I'm going to find it.
Yep. Instead of letting it fall out of the sky on you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I did not think I was going to learn this much during this podcast. I always learned something.
The youngins bringing all the deep songwriting stuff.
I know, man.
Yeah.
Good. Like, it's good because when the old people are like, why are y'all talking to that kid? They're going to be like, oh, wow, man. Yeah.
Because she's a
That's what's up.
songwriter, y'all.
We'll be like, what's that sorority girl doing on there?
Right. I actually remember, like I said, when we saw you play, we were all just kind of like, wow, like, okay. Like, I would not have pegged her for being like 20 years old. Like, it was, even the ones where you're like, this is a breakup song with this boy who told me that. Remember, she said the one you had the boyfriend who was like, what, who told you like you wouldn't be a good singer or something? And is that you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then you're just like, here's this song. I'm like, oh, this is going to be all kind of like,
Cheesy.
And then I was like, oh, no, like, she's cold blooded. Like, that was like a real song. I was like, she's brought it to.
She spoon fed him his innards.
High where I'm like threatening to kill him or something.
That was like an Eminem blast.
Right. By a sorority girl.
I was like, yeah. Well, I'm a Southern sorority girl, and making Southern women mad, you're gonna get your house burned down.
Yep.
So
While they say, bless your heart, we're going to burn your house down.
my girls are coming. Your house is gone. Hey, if you keep looking at other women, I'll solve the problem. I'll spoon your eyeballs out.
Right. Then you can't look.
It's the Miranda Lambert book right there.
Right?
I was telling Kim, I was like, I wrote a song about burning a house down after I listened to so much Miranda Lambert with Kim.
Yep.
Yeah, I love a good Miranda Lambert song.
Guys don't
If you're gonna
really...
get-
What were you saying?
Oh, you go first.
I was just saying, guys don't really realize like the trauma that we go through in a relationship, and it's usually that we put ourselves through. We could just walk away, but we don't. We put up with it. They don't realize like how much I love to write about that.
Well, I think like one of the first times in recent like memory that I can remember where like a woman came out and just said, like, you had Carly Simon like with "You're So Vain." It was kind of still vague, right?
Right.
But then the Dixie Chicks came out with Earl, and I was like, oh my god, she's gonna kill the man. Like, oh, okay, like that's legit, dude. Okay.
Yeah, let's be
God.
more specific with our threats.
Nothing coming, man.
He did. I don't blame them at all.
Right.
I'm not condoning what they did. I'm just saying.
A part of it too is I've never met a girl who hasn't had a horrendous breakup story. Like some guys have really bad breakup stories, but I haven't met a girl who hasn't had a bad breakup story. I'm like, y'all, why are you dating the devil? Like, there's no excuse. Like, there'll be guys and their girlfriends will be like, yeah, he slept over with 6 girls, but things. I'm like, no.
But he's hot.
Yeah.
It's just boys being boys. No, it's not.
You deserve better than that, girl.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. And you know what? If you're gonna write a breakup song,
Make it a
make
good
sure
one.
that everybody knows it. Yeah,
Oh yeah. Because it's been done so many times. You got to do something unique with it.
Yes.
yeah. Well, and it's like you broke me forever, so I'll break you too. LOL. Smiley face. I was really mad when I wrote it too. I was like, oh.
It's just funny to me, like how many people like get threatened by that. Like, oh, I write songs and stuff, whatever. That whole like, I don't know.
Well, no, it's like how people, and I'm not defending Taylor Swift, but how people like get so mad at her when she writes her whole albums. You can tell it's about a specific person a lot of times. It's like, but if you look at the story, she's just being honest about it. And that's her job, right? Is to write. That's what she does, and it's her experience. And people get so bent out of joint when she's honest about this relationship sucked, and this is why. It's like, well, if I knew that she was going to write about me and I wouldn't date her. Like, sorry,
Right.
I don't want to be your next album. Whew, no, thank you. Some of those words kind of mean. Hurt my feelings.
And And that's something I felt. The amount of guys that will be like, can I get your number? And I'm like, you can get my Instagram. They get my Instagram. I'm not hearing back from them.
They're like, nope, she's too
I'm
honest.
like, and that is okay. I respect that.
True. At least they're realizing you're putting it out there like, hey, this is what you're going to get. So if you're cool with it, cool, keep going. But if not, step off the train, please. Exit to the right.
This is who I am.
Because you don't want to get off the train once it's moving, because then everybody's going to get hurt, you know?
Damn.
You are great, Celeste.
Yes.
Yeah, that helps. That directness of things is like, that's what makes a good storyteller. It's like, there's no like, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe I should censor this. Maybe I should. It's like, no, here's what happened and here's what you're going to get the what for.
And I'm just happy we live in an era where we can do that now, that like it's okay to say what we feel instead of having to like disguise it with pretty words and, you know, it wasn't God who made honky tonk angels. Yeah, that kind of thing. Like, can say, hey, dude, what you did wasn't right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My mom calls it my Emily spinach. Do you know about Emily spinach, Alice Roosevelt's snake?
No.
Well, Alice Roosevelt had a garden snake that she would take out at dinner parties when the parties got boring. And the snake would slither around and everybody would freak out because there's a snake on the table. And that's kind of how my mouth works. You know, when things get boring, I just start saying things I shouldn't. And it's like Emily spinach slithering around on the table.
Nice. There we go.
You know, always disturb the peace.
Nothing wrong with that, man.
I like it personally. I realized probably 25 years ago that most of us live in some level of mental health crisis all the time.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with just saying what I mean and meaning what I say. And yeah, we need to get comfortable with how we feel.
Yeah.
Music's where you get rid of all that.
Yeah, it's how we process it.
True. It's cheaper than a therapist.
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
You don't know? Well, yeah.
I don't know.
Music videos
I
aren't.
could get some backlighter therapist for cheaper. I might come out worse than I came in, but you know.
well, I'm guessing like I grew up like a small town kid. And you're saying you were homeschooled and everything. So for me, always music was like my reports from the greater world, like all this youthful angst and, you know, just weird feelings were like, oh, this is strange. Like, I don't like, am I okay? And then it was like, oh, here's dudes or, you know, people in bands from all around the country or world that kind of feel the same way and have the same issues. So I didn't know as like a homeschool person that music really affect you that way or.
Well, I started, so in my first couple years of life, I was in everything school. I did private school up until about third grade, and then I went to public school until middle school. And then at the end of middle school, I did homeschool. So I've done literally every kind of schooling. But homeschool sticks out the most because it was high school. And I think being homeschooled in high school is a very unique experience because high school is such like a weird developmental time because everybody's learning how to date and learning how to like transition from being like an awkward middle schooler to a kind of young adult. And being homeschooled, I didn't see kids my age every day. I saw adults every day, and I was expected to act more like an adult than a child in those rooms because, you know, you're talking to older people. You need to be respectful. You're not going to get into nonsense. Although, you know, I have jumped a fence before, you know, I was not completely upset, but there was a lot of self-reflecting time. And when you're left with your thoughts for a long time, you start like thinking about all these deep things and you're like, I'm gonna die one day and I don't want to do that. You know, it was just like I was thinking about different things than some of my high school peers because I didn't have a whole lot of high school drama to keep my brain busy because I frankly didn't know enough people to do it. You know, I rode horses, which is a solo sport, you know, over fences. I mean, I had kids I would ride with occasionally, but really only one other girl my age, so it wasn't that populated, and most of the time it's just you and a horse, and the horse isn't going to take you to prom. And then I did musical theater, and that's where I got most of my socialization, and there was, just like any theater troupe, then musical theater trauma, but even then it wasn't that much, and it wasn't that crazy. So, and I only met with them like 3 times a week, so it was like a lot of reflecting and then listening, and I got really into story-based music. I fell in love with the Oh Hellos before the pandemic, and they were like a huge inspiration to me, even though in my music you can't tell. And, of course, Taylor Swift. I love Led Zeppelin. I love Bob Dylan. You know, I love Gracie Abrams and Olivia Rodrigo and Hozier. Big Hozier fan. Like, I just listen to, honestly, anything I can. Anything that, like, speaks to me, like, that has a good story. I don't care what genre it is, you know. It could be rap even. I don't care. Is it good? That's what I care about. And I like my iPhone because it said how much screen time you had on each app or whatever. I'd listen to my music all day I was working. So I'd listen to music 8 hours a day, you know, and that's a lot of time to listen to music for 4 years.
No kidding. Yeah, you expose yourself to a lot.
Yeah. And so, because I don't really watch TV, I never have. I've listened to music, I read, and I write. Oh, and of course I have to watch YouTube videos. I am a Gen Zer.
Oh, I know. We started doing an open mic and I got like the YouTube premium. Like, I can't ever go back. It's like, no commercials, everything just come right at me. It's like, this is the best. Get a new program or anything. Like, I can know everything about it in 2 days. Love YouTube.
I love the channels that are like niche subjects.
Yeah.
Like Defunct Land, like things that are like random, things I don't need to know, things that are not going to help me in the long term, but I'm like, thank goodness I know this.
That was interesting.
Somewhere you'll be at a party or something, you'll be someone will bring it up and you're like, I know this.
Yep.
This is my moment.
Right. Thank you, YouTube.
Just wait, everybody. I have a story to tell.
I know all about this. That's how you find the people, man, the weirdos that you get along with, because you're just like, all right, they know the same weird stuff, the same rabbit holes I go down, they go down. Like, this is great.
The best is when you're talking to someone and they've gone down like a rabbit hole that's parallel to yours, but they've never quite met. So now you have a whole new fountain of information and you're like, thank goodness. They just like info dumped on me. I'm brilliant now. I'm going to Yale now.
Right. I'm twice as smart as I was before this conversation. Oh, man.
It's funny how many subjects, like if you were in school and they were like, we're going to learn about this, you're like, nah, this sucks. I hate science. So it's like, oh, 10-minute videos on YouTube breaking down this weird thing. It's like, I'll watch it.
Right.
I'll watch 10 episodes, 10 minutes piece. That's fine. That makes perfect sense to me.
Because it's your choice.
True.
Yeah.
I guess so.
I love museums. They're so much fun.
Oh my gosh.
Like when I could be around things and see things. I don't know. Maybe I'm just more of a hands-on learner than I am like a sit very still learner. But I adore museums.
Yeah, we've gotten lucky and been able to visit a whole lot while we were traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always like, I love it. Sam takes pictures at museums because I wouldn't think to do that. And then when we go back through our pictures, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember how cool that was.
So I always call it, we got to do the sprinters tour because it's like, we don't have a lot of time. We can be at the venue by this time, but we'll go through and we'll take pictures of all the plaques and the thing. We'll look at it like, oh, that's cool. Then we go back to the hotel. You can be like, oh, that's what that was. Okay. Remember that weird plane? Remember being like, that was the Wright brothers plane.
Whoa.
I knew it looked like it, but I didn't know that was it.
It's the real one.
Yep, never
In
stop
high
learning.
school, if I was one of the plaques in there that described something, I would just take a photo of it. And I had just albums of photos of museum plaques. I was like, oh my gosh. There was this poison exhibit that went through the different, at the Houston Museum, that went through the different kinds of poisons and all this other stuff. And I'd taken photos of all of them, of household poisons. Because it was like, I'm going to write a murder mystery novel of household poisons. I ended up not. So I just have
It's just research.
totally
It's fine.
photos of poisons, household poisons. Like, nobody look on my phone. Someone starts to get my photos out. I'm like, stop it.
Right.
Don't swipe to the right.
That is one of those, and then they found her phone. Mm-hmm. It wasn't me. It's like, sure.
It wasn't me. I keep it to remember, just in case. My bad.
This is a perfect way to transition into our season question.
Yeah.
As we're talking about YouTube videos, things like that. I was kind and I was editing last time's podcast earlier today, and I was like, I should warn Celeste. We never do. We warn the last people, and I was like, I should be nice again instead of just springing it on you. So we know you like YouTube and things, but we've been asking everybody to recommend one podcast, one book, and one musical artist that people could check check out. So we figured we'd give you some recommendations, or give us some recommendations.
The first one I'm going to recommend, the podcast, is Defunct Land, because I've been watching them since high school and I love their stuff. They go like deep into different like roller coasters that no longer exist, why they don't exist, how they got started up, the stories behind them. And I'm a big like theme park buff. I grew up loving Disney, going to Disney. I thought I wanted to work at Disney for a long time and like be one of the people who like storyboarded the rides and everything. So yeah, if you have time, check out Defunct Land. They're really cool and they have so many videos and they're all like an hour long.
Cool. Rabbit hole.
Artist, I know he's popular, but Noah Kahan specifically, his first album, Busy Head. I had been listening to him like for a year, and then I was on this trip to Austin, and on the way back home, it's like I accidentally pressed the wrong album, and I was playing Busy Head. I was like, what is this? And I was like, oh, what is this? This is good. And I have been obsessed. Like, that's his favorite album of mine now. The song Mess on Busy Head, it's me. He wrote it definitely about me. We've never met each other. It's about me. And then I figured the book I'd recommend would be the book I'm reading right now, The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. I'm a big Neil Gaiman fan. I love Neil Gaiman. You know, I just think he's a great writer. And I picked up that book because I've been wanting to buy it. But the one thing I'm always like, about is paying for things. Like, I'll call someone out of the blue, but, oh no, I have to spend $14 on a book. I don't want to do that, you know? And finally, after like a couple months of being like, I won't buy it. I was like, I'm just going to buy it. And I bought it and took it home. And I've been reading it while I'm traveling around, and it's really good.
I love his stories. I just fall right into them.
Me too. Something about the way he says it, you know? It's not what he's saying, it's how he's saying it. That's so appealing.
Definitely. And it makes, he's one of those guys who makes pictures in your mind.
Oh, cool.
You know, like you can see what's going on. I like that.
Yep. And then like Coraline and stuff, it's like instead of trying to reinvent the whole wheel, he takes Alice in Wonderland and he just like turns it all to its side. So it's like uncanny. And that's fun to me. I love that kind of stuff. I love retelling.
Definitely.
It's a lot of fun. All right. Well, then on that note, while we're winding down, is there anything that we missed? Anything you want to tell us about? It's your moment to plug anything? Or
I have a music festival I'm performing at in Pasadena. It's Audio Impact Alliance, the Pasadena Music Festival. If you go to my website, it should be on there, CelesteMarieWilsonMusic.com. And then go listen to my newest single, If I Sing For You. It's been doing pretty well on YouTube, and you know,
yeah, that video is killer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I got the dress from that thrift shop downtown. Oh my gosh, Leopard Lounge. I love Leopard Lounge.
Yeah.
I love thrifting.
Oh yeah. Well, awesome. You said you have a 13-song album recorded? Do you have any idea
Yes,
when it's
I've
going to be coming out?
recorded. I'm scheming. I'm on my scheming arc right now. It should be coming out in the next couple months.
Okay.
I have the photos and everything done. Everything's done. It just is. It's the deployment of it, and the marketing is always hard.
Well, awesome. We'll make sure to let our fans know when it comes out so they can go listen.
oh yeah, we always do the follow-up updates and things.
Thank you so much for coming and talking to us, Celeste.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be around soon.
Yeah.
And y'all never hesitate. Message me. I'll do whatever. I'm like super chill.
That'd be rad. We should try to get listen on stuff.
And y'all go check out CelesteMarieWilsonMusic.com. She's got videos and music and all kinds of stuff.
All sorts of things. Staying busy.
That's awesome.
Obviously.
Well, that's good because it means probably we'll be back in the next season or so, probably talking to you again when that next album's coming out. Because
Heck yeah.
it seems like we're just going to keep moving.
Poor plan. Someone's gonna rein me in.
You know, just keep going till someone tells you to stop.
Yeah.
Or until you stop. That's the way it works.
All right. On that note,
Bye.
all right, y'all, that does it for another episode of Music in the Minor League. We hope you enjoyed it. Remember, if you did, share it wherever you can, man. Social media, Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, wherever you're interacting with folks online. Get the word out. Tell some friends. Tell a coworker. Send them a link in an email. We really appreciate you getting the word out because we're really trying to shed a light on all these people. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another episode. And until then, we're going to leave you with this. It's another single from Celeste Marie Wilson. It's called Drowning Under. We hope you dig it, and we'll see you in 2 weeks, man. Later.
to think I'd ever be enough for you. I'm begging you for sympathy. You cut to stand and watch me bleed. I revert back to a younger me with you. Someone save me, there's not much longer. I'm going under, I'm drowning under the water. I find some joy in solitude, anywhere where there's no you. Fantasies are what I'm used to. I met the devil at 16, relived every single thing, living there just trying to make do. Someone save me, there's not much longer. I'm going under, I'm drowning under the water. Why am I not enough? Give it all, but it's just too much. Why am I not enough? Why am I